Crystal Edge Technology screens. We make the Supreme 12 ambient light rejection, which I'm going to be doing today. I also make the new exotic ambient light rejection 15 and our even newer advanced ambient light rejection 17 technology. That's a front and rear technology. So today, last night I was pondering which screen paint I'm going to use to paint this with, which now really doesn't make a difference because I just ordered a dozen of these. I am really happy with this surface. Usually, the original wallpaper surface was a little bit thicker. It was actually a 4x8, and this was, I think it's a 0.030 or is it 0.30? I'm going to go with 0.30. So I think it was 0.30. That was the first one we had. Then we had a 0.20. That was the second one we had. This is actually a 0.20, which is really interesting because that's the thickness of the screen. If those you don't know what that means, abbreviation stands for. When you buy fiberglass, you have to know how thick you want it. And it goes by the thinnest. They start off at zeros and points. So this one out here is a 0.30. You can get a 0.20, but 30 is kind of like a little thicker, but the 20 is just perfect. So this is what I'm going to be buying for myself, and I'll probably put the link up. I haven't decided yet because I've got a few people that are interested in turning these wallpaper screens with our coating. But with that being said, I'm going to be coating this, turning this into a wallpaper screen, and I'm going to be attaching it to a wall somewhere in the house. Which that's going to be a good one because I don't think I have any room in the house for a 100-inch screen anywhere. Unless I put it where the motorized screen is, and that's where I need the motorized screen at. All right, so I'm going to start on this right here. Get this set up over here. Now this is to demonstrate that I haven't done a lot of fiberglass paint on demonstrations. And a lot of people have been asking me about painting on fiberglass. So this is going to be a good demonstration. Keep in mind that the protective seal that they put on it that peels off, you can peel that off. That's blue, so it's actually blue, which is interesting. All right, so I'm gonna come over here, get set up. Might just grab my projector from upstairs because I don't have anything down here to start the demonstration with. Okay. Why is that wet? Oh, I'm down. Okay. Come on. I need a projector. I'm gonna get that. What kind of got demonstration? I already know demonstration. I use it before. I'm gonna use it for something. I didn't find out. I'm just setting up my projector system. That thing set right. Fire stick. This is it. All right, so I'm just setting up. I think I'm gonna start painting these screens instead because number one, it's more flexible and cheaper than the styrofoam. Styrofoam is a little pricey. This is a lot cheaper. On top of that, I can have dozens of these things of my screen paints coated on them, roll them up, stick them in the corner, be done with it. This thing has absolutely no weight to it whatsoever. It is really thin and it's sturdy. Look how thin that is. That is amazing. Actually, the other one I had were much thicker than this. And the most important thing is when I buy fiberglass like this, when you unroll it, it's got to lay perfectly flat. From corner to corner, it's got to lay flat. Because if you get a curl in there, what's going to happen is, number one, it's going to be impossible to paint because you're just going to have to tape that part down. And then you got to pull off the tape and tape the part that you miss with the tape. It gets complicated. So you have that problem. Or bottom line is when you're trying to lay it flat to the wall, it has a buckle in the middle of the screen because that curve. This lays perfectly flat to the ground and it's sturdy. I was able to rip off the material, didn't tear or rip. Well, this is going to be fantastic. I can make these weatherproof. I can stick these right outside and I don't know, just do all kinds of cool stuff. I can get an outer box. I need an outer box for one of my projectors so I can do a rain demonstration. I can have my screen out in the rain, you know, and just showing you how these screens take on a lot of punishment. But this is absolutely beautiful. And the price I paid for this was $22. That's what I paid for. I told you I got some interesting connections online. I can get some pretty cool stuff. I know a lot of people in the business. I can get my hands on some interesting stuff. I told you I got a group of individuals. I paid them to find stuff for me. Find stuff, really interesting stuff. And it's hard to get your hands on any kind of fiberglass or plastic, but I found a company that can give me tons of this if I want it. But I wonder if I can get it thinner than this. The only problem is, just can't get any bigger. That's the only problem we run into. Just can't get it bigger. I would love to have this in 120 inch or the size of this, 138 inch. Do you have much room? I would save if I could just have a screen this thin and just connect it to the wall and be done instead of lugging this giant screen. Now you see what I'm working at here, what I want here. This is the new screens we're going to start developing because customer doesn't have to assemble no parts. Just take it out, stick it to your wall. You're done. That's it. And this thing is so lightweight that basic 3M Velcro will stick this thing to your wall. There's no weight to this thing. It's actually way lighter than the wallpaper screens that we used to have. Like I said, the wallpaper screens we had were at 0.20. No, 0.30. That's a 0.20. And I was looking at the thickness of it. I was like, wait a minute. 0.20. I mean, is this thing gonna rip on me? No. Lay it flat. I've had material come here and unwrap it and it would curl up. That's a bad sign. That's a sign that that screen is never gonna lay flat to the wall. Now, keep in mind, I also ordered another screen that basically is just like this, like the screens that you get in your when you buy a fixed frame screen. If you ever bought one, it has something called tension rods that run into the material, keeps the screen nice and tight. I actually ordered one of these screens. Somebody was selling them for like, I think they're for $44 or $34, something like that, for 100 inch. So I got those two also. If I run out of paint, I can always make more. Now, not worry about this. The screen over here is 4x8. Pretty sure you can cut it. I'm gonna buy another one. Actually, I bought 12 for myself. Hey, it's my buddy chiming in. Oh, you have a beautiful day too. My buddy chiming in. All right, so I'm gonna take our surface. Now the bottom of this, the reason why it looks blue is because the bottom of the screen has top and bottom, came with a protective coating that you can peel off. That's all it is, just protects the screen from getting marked up or anything. It is actually crystal clear. I'm keeping the blue backing on the back of it, but you can actually peel it off if you don't want it. And I'm going to make one of these in 12, and then I'm going to make another one and a 17 black, because I do want a rear projection screen outside. And that is the perfect size of what I need. Because the screen is 4x8, it can do 235.1, which I've done on these. Where in the dickens did my broom just go? Because I need it. I need to make sure the screen cleaned off pretty well. See, and this is the reason why when I tell people that you never know, I never do the same thing twice. If you watch any of my demonstrations, I never do the same thing twice. So I have some people that will come in and say, hey, I didn't see that, I'm just a subscriber, but I didn't see that demonstration that you just did. I'm not sending you the link. You're gonna have to find it. I have over 5,000 video demonstrations. So I tell people, you might wanna chime in, because there's stuff that I get my hands on that can help you out a lot when it comes to your home theater setup and save you a ton of money. But I have people come in and say, hey, I didn't see that video. You know how many videos I do a day? Yeah, I did a video last night when it first came in. Those people who popped on got information from me on how to get one. Those who didn't, don't get it. That's why you may want to pop in. I show people how to buy projectors on eBay, how to not get taken, how to properly go and research your items and look and see whether or not they are what they're supposed to be, how to build customized projection screens, how to install proper LED lights, all that good stuff. People sit there now, fiberglass is crazy expensive, and I got a sheet in front of me that cost me $22. I just ordered me a dozen last night because I wanted to see what it looked like when I got here. Now let me see. I'm going to be able to do this because my roller seems a bit rough today. So what side do we have? We'll make sure we got the clear side. We don't have the blue side. I'll put the, like I said, if all goes well with this and it coats pretty good, I'll put that link in. But like I said, if it all goes well, I'll place the link. But I'm not going to be repeating links. If you missed the video, then you just got to figure out where it's at. That's all. All right, let me go get me some paint. Let's finish this off. I got a busy day today. I may make a page on the website if I get around to it. I get time to get around to it, but I haven't had the time to make an information page. We can go pick this stuff up. I just haven't had the time. Right now, I have 2 screen paints that are supposed to have launched. I have a platinum slate that is supposed to be out by the 17th. And I had the ultra bright. They haven't been launched yet. They're done. They haven't been launched. I just haven't had the time to do them. Literally have not had the time to do it. And then I got a 6500 lumen projector coming in. I just bought another projector for testing for smaller screens. I bought a 50-inch pull-out screen, portable pull-out screen to do demonstrations on that. And I bought 2 other screens that I bought. So, you know, I'm trying to get time to get around to it. And then I got orders and customers and things to take care of and all of this that's going on right now. So, yeah, excuse me if I just haven't got it done yet. Let's give me a fork. Let's make it a little better. So, I'll get to it. I promise. I'm a little busy, that's all. So, we'll put in, like, when I get time today, I should have time today. To put in an information page where you can go in and get stuff and how to build a system for $600, stuff like that. So we'll put it right here. If I gotta make more, just make more. If I don't have enough, I'll just make more. Me, my tradition, how I paint my screens, and everybody knows how I like to paint my screens. I like to get my corners first. I always do my corners first. This is how I do it. Oh yeah, this stuff is taking really well. I mean, it's marrying very well. I'm not seeing any other spots where it's just not. Marrying very well. Now a little trick, ooh, that went on real smooth. That went on real nice. A trick, if you're going to be painting this with a transparent screen, there's a trick on how you go about how dark you want to make your screen. What you do is, what's this right here? That's something on the screen. It came from me. What you do is you basically, hold on a minute. Let me come here and rock this out for a minute. People sometimes don't know how dark they want to make their screens. I'm going to tell you a little trick on how to do it. Alright, so when you're doing a transparent screen, what you want to do is you want to put objects like newspaper underneath the screen, and I'll tell you why. Because the reason why I might use newspaper or something colorful on the bottom of the screen, because when I'm coding it, the less I can see that print on that newspaper shows how exactly how I can adjust the tone on how dark I want to make the screen. So if I want to make it so I can't read the print at all, then I know exactly I need 3 coats to do it. If I basically want to see it where it's halfway visible, then I know that I probably need 1 to 2 coats. That's how I adjust exactly how dark I want to screen. That's one of the tricks. You put newspaper at the bottom of the screen. So if you can see the newspaper, as you start to spray the screen back and forth, you can see less or more. That tells exactly how you can adjust on how dark you want the screen. Very easy trick to do. All right, so let's put a little more down. We're almost done. This took nothing at all in paint. Really nothing at all. I might put a second coat, but I don't think I'm needed, to tell you the truth. I only put a second coat on just in case if I miss something on the screen. If I miss something, I put in a second coat. Only if I miss something, that's all. Now, unfortunately, this is not going to be a paint and dry because it's going to take time to, not time to dry, but I want to make sure this is dry right. Usually I hang these up when I dry them. This one I'm not going to hang up. I'll leave it flat. Make sure I don't have any form of residue on me, because one thing you don't want is having residue on your clothes, because it will bounce over onto the screen. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to let this dry, and just in case, like I said, I make sure, because it's a big screen, get my corners again. Do a good job on the corners. Once over. This trash bag out of the way. To my screen. That's all. And just repeat the process in the middle. Back and forth. This time I just go over a little lighter. It doesn't have to be too light, just be gentle with it, that's all. That's all, be gentle with it. And the reason why you sweep off the material that you're painting on, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. The reason why you always sweep off the material when you paint it on it, and if it's brand new, you sweep it down, because as your roller is going back and forth, you could be picking up dirt and bringing it right back across your screen. That's why you sweep it down. These are the little things that when I tell people in videos, Reason why I'm saying you don't have to subscribe, it's up to you. But like I said, these are the little things that basically will keep you from having a nightmare screen, because paint works perfectly, but you don't want a bunch of lint and dirt and whatever you have on your floor transferring over to your screen. So, like I said, when you put down that material, sweep down the material, it could be any lint, anything on it could be on it, sweep it down, and then put the material, put the fiberglass on top of it. As you roll your screen, keep in mind, you're gonna go past your screen, you're gonna hit that material, you're gonna come right back over. So you could be bringing any lint or dust right back on your screen. Which I'm looking at here very carefully to see if I have done. Something that doesn't bother me. Right there. That's what's bothering me. It doesn't make a difference. If you happen to pull some over, with your hands, you know, it's not going to dry uneven. Wipe it off. And go right back over the same spot. You don't even have to paint the whole screen. Just go over the spot that you touched. That's all. This is right here. And the roller is pain in the neck. I love it. Sorry, but I love it. I love the roller. I love it. I love it. I do like the roller. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Get a little mark on there. You get a little something transfers over to your screen. Just take your finger, wipe it off, and roll over top of it. It's going to dry even. That's all. And there you go. Painting a sheet of fiberglass. No time at all. It's still got enough paint left over to do 4 more if I want it. So there's no way in the world it's going to take a quart to paint this screen. It's going to take way less than that to paint this screen. So I figured I did this with a half a quart, what I had in my container, because I used some of it yesterday to paint the other screen. So I think a quart, I could probably paint about a good maybe 4 or 5 of these with no problem whatsoever. Now what I should have did, and there's another trick for you too, which I didn't think to do, but I'm not downstairs. Usually this is going to have to dry the slow way, because I don't know how much dust and dirt I may have on my floor. Even if you sweep and clean your floor, you're still going to have some from a dust somewhere. You can even have dust particles in your fan that will blow on your screen. So this is going to have to dry the old-fashioned way, because what I should have did, and like I said, I did this upstairs. Downstairs, because I have all the stuff I need, I have a table that I can actually set my screen on top of, probably about this high off the ground, and I can paint my screen. And that way, if I turn the fan on, and I have a clean fan down there, I make sure when I clean my fans before I do them, I actually take them apart, clean them, make sure I don't have any dust particles or blowing on the screen. But there's ways you can get around it. You can get micro mesh. They got something they make called micro mesh. You can drape this or Velcro this as a filter over your fan to keep any dust particles or anything from coming off the fan and still making contact with the screen. Because even though if I clean out a fan, there's always something that I've made of loose end that actually eventually will find itself on the screen. So get yourself a piece of micro mesh, some Velcro, and you make a little filter system that you tape over top of your screen. That way, if anything breaks off, it's not going to actually go past the fan and hit the screen. There's so many different tricks on how to do this. Another thing is basically if you have a small little table, if you don't have a small little table, the screen's only 4 feet by 8 feet. Anything would cover this right here with no problem. You can go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and get yourself a thin piece of plywood, kitchen plywood, and that's 4 feet by 8 feet right there. That'll fit perfectly to this. To make sure the screen doesn't slip back and forth, if you're painting this for a front projection, get a few pieces, like I said, of Velcro or maybe some frog tape and tape it down to the surface underneath, not over top. If you tape it over top the corners, that means when you paint the screen and you go to peel off the tape, now your corners are not painted. You got to go over that too. So put a little tape at the bottom, stick it down, get a couple of those 5-gallon buckets and put 4 on each side. And that way you could dry your screen without any of the dust particles on the floor making contact with the screen. See? This comes from years of painting these things and just finding out different tricks and making mistakes. See, I said mistakes make things better. You learn from your mistakes, and I have learned from mistakes. I painted a screen, and I came at it with particles all over the screen. Like, what the freak? Where did this come from? Looking at the ceiling, it's not on the floor. And then I looked at the fan. It literally, particles broke off from the fan, and hit the screen. And that's when I knew basically to go down and get some of that micro mesh, because air can travel through it and it'll filter any dust that's going to make contact with the screen. Learn from your mistakes. So I can pass that on to you so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. All right, so all in all, just have to just sit and wait for it to dry, and that's going to take a while. Well, it's not going to take a while because it's just on a fan, but it's going to take some time. I'm just going to open up my front door and windows and stuff, let this place cool down, and look how smooth that went on. That's going to look beautiful. And I'm going to put it, I don't have any place for it, but I'm just going to basically, I got to come in, I got to putty all my holes up in here and sand this down today. It's going to be a sand down day. Get this all cleaned up and then repaint this. And then I'm going to go in and just basically Velcro it from here to here. That's what I'm going to do, because I really don't have any other place to Velcro this thing too. Good thing it's lightweight. Yeah, at the end of the day, I can just roll it up and stick it in the basement when I'm done with it. And that's what I plan to do with it. All right. I guess I'll be back on later on, because I gotta wait for this, and that gives me a chance to do some other things around the house that have to be done right now. So I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Thank you all for your time. I have to go, and God bless.